In the cold, silent vastness of space, General June Park watched the blue planet below. His spaceship hummed softly, its advanced sensors scanning the distant Earth. Today was just another routine mission, or so he thought. The mountain training base appeared small at first, just a tiny dot nestled between rocky peaks. But something caught June's attention. A group of soldiers moved across the terrain, their movements unlike anything he had seen before. At first, he watched with professional curiosity. Military training was standard across most civilizations. He expected routine movements, predictable patterns. What he saw instead made him lean closer to the observation screen. These humans weren't just moving, they were dancing with strategy. A small squad of 6 soldiers navigated a complex mountain landscape. Their communication was seamless. No elaborate hand signals, no complex radio commands, just intuitive understanding. One soldier would look and another would instantly know the next move. When an unexpected obstacle appeared, a steep, rocky cliff, they didn't panic. Instead, they transformed into a living machine. One soldier boosted another. That soldier then created a human bridge for the rest. No discussion, no delay. Pure synchronized action. June's trained eye caught details most would miss. The way they carried equipment, how they distributed weight, their breathing patterns during intense movement. Each action was calculated yet seemed completely natural. A training scenario unfolded. The squad had to reach a specific mountain peak while avoiding detection. Traditional military logic would suggest a direct, predictable route. These humans did something entirely different. They split into 2 groups. One group created a deliberate distraction. Loud movements, obvious signs of movement. The other group used that moment to silently navigate through what seemed like impossible terrain. Their camouflage wasn't just about clothing, it was about understanding the environment. One soldier, a woman with short hair and intense eyes, seemed to read the mountain like a book. She identified hidden paths, calculated wind directions, predicted potential enemy movements, and all within seconds. Her brain processed information faster than most advanced computer systems June had seen. When a simulated enemy drone appeared, their response was stunning. Instead of hiding or running, they used the drone's own technology against it. One soldier used a small device that intercepted and redirected the drone's signals. Another used natural landscape features to create visual disruptions. June realized he was witnessing something extraordinary. This wasn't just military training. This was adaptive intelligence in its purest form. The soldiers moved like water, fluid, adaptable, changing shape based on environmental demands, no rigid formations, no strict hierarchical commands. Each soldier was both an individual and part of a collective organism. Their equipment was fascinating too. Lightweight, modular. Each piece served multiple purposes. A communication device could become a navigation tool. A water container could transform into a signaling mechanism. Every single item was designed with multiple potential uses. As the training exercise concluded, June noticed something even more remarkable. When it ended, they didn't just stop. They immediately began analyzing their own performance, discussing mistakes, offering constructive feedback. No ego, no defensiveness, pure learning. One soldier limped slightly. Instead of being a weakness, the team immediately adjusted. Another soldier subtly provided support without making it seem like help. Dignity and practicality merged seamlessly. Their teamwork wasn't about following orders. It was about understanding a collective goal and finding the most efficient path to achieve it. Each soldier seemed to carry both individual brilliance and a deep commitment to the group. June had seen thousands of military units across different star systems. But these humans were different. They weren't just soldiers. They were problem solvers, adaptive thinkers, living, breathing strategic systems. As the training footage ended, June realized something was changing inside him. His entire understanding of military strategy was being challenged. These humans represented something more than a potential threat or an interesting species. They represented the future of strategic thinking. For weeks after witnessing the human training footage, June Park couldn't sleep. His quarters felt different. The standard alien military decorations, medals, holographic battle maps, precision instruments, now seemed rigid and lifeless. He watched the video again, and again, and again. Each replay revealed something new. The way the squad leader moved her hand slightly before a decision. How a soldier adjusted his backpack without breaking movement rhythm. The almost invisible communication between team members that seemed to happen without words. June's military training told him to analyze. His instincts told him something deeper was happening. In the Galactic Command Center, everything was about protocols, rigid structures, precise movements. Rank determined everything. But these humans, they broke every single rule he knew about. Military organization. Their leader wasn't always the strongest. Sometimes the smallest team member made critical decisions. Leadership seemed fluid, adaptive, changing based on the specific challenge they faced. He began comparing human strategies with his own military's approaches. Their standard battle plans suddenly looked like ancient stone tablets compared to the humans' liquid dynamic methods. When a junior officer approached him about a routine mission plan, June found himself questioning everything. What if we approached this differently, he asked. The officer looked confused. No one questioned established protocols. His computer was filled with hundreds of replay clips, zoom-ins, slow-motion analyses, frame-by-frame breakdown of human movements. What started as professional curiosity was becoming an obsession. The humans didn't just train, they learned. Constantly. Every mission was a learning opportunity. Mistakes weren't punishments, they were lessons. Their military culture celebrated adaptability over perfection. June's own military culture would consider such an approach weak. Mistakes meant punishment. Strict adherence to rules was everything. But these humans showed that understanding was more important than following. He started reading everything about human military history, their strategies, their innovations, their unexpected victories against impossible odds. Books about human wars filled his personal database. Each story challenged his understanding. During team meetings, June became distracted. Colleagues noticed his changed behavior. "Are you feeling well?" they would ask. He would just nod, his mind still replaying human training videos. His sleep patterns changed. He would wake up thinking about how a human soldier solved a complex terrain challenge, how they used simple tools in unexpected ways, how they turned limitations into strengths. The conflict was internal but powerful. Everything he knew about military strategy was being dismantled, piece by piece, video by video, observation by observation. June realized he was experiencing something profound, not just professional doubt, but a complete philosophical transformation. The human squad wasn't just a military unit. They were a living, breathing example of something much larger, a method of thinking, a way of existing that was dynamic, collaborative, and incredibly intelligent. He started making secret notes, comparing human approaches with traditional military strategies. The differences were stark, shocking, revolutionary. His colleagues would laugh if they knew. An experienced general obsessed with a small human training video. But June knew he was witnessing something important, something that could change everything. The more he analyzed, the more questions emerged. How did humans develop such adaptive intelligence? What was their secret? Was it training, culture, something in their biological makeup? Doubt became his constant companion, but it wasn't a negative doubt. It was an exciting, transformative uncertainty, the kind that pushes boundaries, that challenges established thinking. June Park was no longer just a military general. He was becoming something else, a student, an observer, someone willing to question everything he had ever known. And in that willingness to doubt, to question, to learn, he was becoming more human than he realized. The internal conflict wasn't a weakness. It was an opportunity, a gateway to a completely new understanding of strategy, leadership, and human potential. The decision came on a quiet night. June sat alone in his personal quarters, surrounded by holographic displays of human training, videos. Moonlight filtered through the spaceship's transparent panels, casting soft shadows across his determined face. He had spent months analyzing every moment of human military performance. Each replay confirmed what he initially suspected. Traditional military thinking was obsolete. His resignation letter would be simple, direct, honest. I cannot continue serving an organization that refuses to understand true strategic potential, he wrote. The words felt both terrifying and liberating. June knew the consequences. Walking away from a high-ranking military position meant more than losing a job. It meant losing status, reputation, everything he had worked decades to achieve. But the humans had shown him something profound. Courage wasn't about following rules. It was about challenging them when they no longer made sense. He packed minimal belongings, a few personal items, some data storage devices containing his research, no fancy military decorations, no unnecessary weight. The communication system blinked. Incoming transmission from Galactic Command. General Park, your recent behavior suggests psychological instability, a stern voice announced. June smiled. They didn't understand. This wasn't instability. This was evolution. I'm submitting my official resignation, he responded calmly. My decision is final. Confusion erupted in the communication channels. No high-ranking general had ever simply walked away, especially not to study a species considered relatively primitive by galactic standards. His preparation was meticulous. He had already arranged secret transportation to Earth, small shuttles, untraceable routes. Nothing official that might alert his previous commanding officers. Colleagues would call him crazy, traitors, weak. But June knew the truth. Real strength wasn't about maintaining broken systems. It was about having the courage to reimagine them. He thought about the human soldiers, their adaptability, their unexpected problem-solving skills, their ability to turn limitations into advantages. They represented something revolutionary. The spacecraft's navigation system was already programmed. Earth coordinates locked. No turning. Back. June's personal computer contained extensive research, thousands of hours of human military training footage, academic papers, historical war documentaries, everything that might help him understand their unique approach to strategy. As he prepared for departure, he remembered his first glimpse of those human soldiers, how they moved, how they thought, how they transformed challenges into opportunities. They weren't just soldiers. They were living proof that intelligence wasn't about technology. It was about adaptability, understanding, continuous learning. His former military colleagues would be shocked. An experienced general, leaving everything behind to study a species, most considered insignificant. But June saw what others missed. The journey would be long, complicated, potentially dangerous. He would be entering a completely unknown environment. No official support. No backup plans. But for the first time in decades, June felt truly alive. The spacecraft's engines hummed softly. Navigation systems confirmed the route. Earth was waiting. As stars streaked past the window, June realized he wasn't just changing jobs. He was starting a completely new chapter of his life. A chapter where learning mattered more than rank. Where curiosity trumped tradition. One small decision. One massive transformation. Earth wasn't just a destination. It was a promise of something entirely new. The small shuttle landed quietly in a remote mountain region. June Park stepped out, wearing simple Earth-style clothing he had carefully researched. No alien markings, nothing that would immediately reveal his true identity. His first breath of Earth air felt different, crisp, alive, filled with possibilities. The mountain base where he had watched those remarkable soldiers training was nearby. Getting close without raising suspicion would be his first challenge. A local hiking trail provided perfect cover. June moved with calculated steps, his military training helping him blend into the natural environment. He carried a basic backpack looking like any other mountain visitor. 3 kilometers from the base, he spotted movement. A military jeep. Soldiers walking. His heart raced with anticipation. Hyun Kim, the squad leader from the training video he had memorized, was among them. Shorter in person, more intense than any recording could capture. June knew he had seconds to make a first impression. One wrong move could expose everything. "Excuse me," he called out, using perfect human language. "I'm interested in understanding military training methods." The soldiers stopped, hands near their weapons, not threatening, just prepared. Hyun studied him carefully. Years of training had taught her to read people quickly. Something about June was different. Not a typical visitor, not a threat, but definitely unusual. "Who sent you?" Hyun asked, her voice calm but firm. June made a calculated decision. Complete honesty might work better than complicated explanations. "I'm a military strategist," he said. "I've been studying your training methods. They're extraordinary." One soldier chuckled, another raised an eyebrow. Hyun remained focused. "Show me," she demanded. June pulled out a small device. The training footage he had analyzed hundreds of times. The video that changed his entire understanding of military strategy. As they watched, something shifted. Professional curiosity replaced initial suspicion. The soldiers recognized their own training video, but seeing it through an outsider's eyes was different. June's analysis revealed details even they hadn't noticed. How a small hand movement prevented a potential tactical mistake. How breathing patterns matched team movement. The almost invisible communication happening between team members. Hyun realized this wasn't a typical encounter. This was something unique. "You're not from around here," she stated. It wasn't a question. June nodded. "I want to learn. Understand." The mountain wind blew between them, a moment of decision hanging in the air. Another soldier, Woo Choi, stepped forward. "Coffee?" he asked, a simple invitation that meant more than just a drink. They moved to a small base cafeteria. June felt both excited and nervous. Years of military training hadn't prepared him for this moment. Questions flew back and forth, about strategy, about approach, about understanding military dynamics. June shared insights from his galactic experiences. The humans shared their training philosophy. 2 different worlds slowly finding common ground. "Most militaries think strength is about force," June explained. "Your approach is different. It's about understanding, adaptation." Hyun smiled. The first genuine smile since their encounter. By sunset, something unexpected had happened. June wasn't just an observer anymore. He was becoming part of something larger. A cultural exchange happening one conversation at a time. The mountain base, once a distant objective, now felt like the beginning of a remarkable journey. Months passed. June Park was no longer an outsider. He had become something unexpected. A bridge between 2 different worlds. The military base accepted him slowly, first as a curiosity, then as a valuable resource. His galactic military knowledge combined with human adaptability created something revolutionary. Training scenarios became his classroom. Human soldiers watched him carefully. He demonstrated alien tactical approaches. They showed him their unique problem-solving methods. Hyun Kim became his primary connection. She understood something most missed. Knowledge wasn't about where it came from. It was about how it could be applied. During one mountain training exercise, June's insights transformed a standard mission. Where traditional approaches would fail, his understanding of terrain and adaptive strategy created new possibilities. A complex navigation challenge became a masterclass in cross-species strategic thinking. The soldiers realized June wasn't just sharing information. He was learning alongside them. His reports back to his home civilization were carefully coded, not military intelligence, but a profound understanding of human potential. "Humans are not just a species," he wrote in his personal logs. "They are a living, breathing system of continuous adaptation." The base commander, initially suspicious, now saw June as a unique asset. His ability to predict potential mission challenges using galactic perspective became invaluable. Wu Choi, the soldier who first offered coffee, became a close friend. They would discuss strategy for hours, sharing perspectives, challenging assumptions, building something new. June learned that human strength wasn't about technology. It was about spirit, determination, the ability to transform challenges into opportunities. His own military background began to seem rigid, structured, limited. The humans showed him that rules were guidelines, not absolute restrictions. During one critical training scenario, June's insights helped prevent a potential mission failure. The team's approach, quick, adaptive, collaborative, was nothing like his previous military experiences. He realized he wasn't just an observer anymore. He was part of something larger, a new way of understanding military strategy. A bridge between civilizations. The base became his home, his new family, people who didn't care about his origins, only his contributions. Weeks turned into months, months into a year. June's transformation was complete. He no longer saw himself as an alien, military general. He was a learner, a collaborator, someone committed to understanding human potential. His reports back to his civilization were carefully crafted, not just military information, but a profound exploration of human adaptability. They don't just fight, he would explain. They evolve, continuously, without fear. The military base became a laboratory of cross-species understanding. Each training mission a new opportunity to explore potential. Hyun noticed something changing in June. He was becoming more than an observer. He was becoming human in the most important ways: understanding, adaptability, continuous learning. One evening, during a mountain sunset, June realized his journey was never about leaving his civilization. It was about bringing back a new understanding. Humans weren't just a species to be studied. They were a blueprint for a different approach to existence: strategic, adaptive, fearless. As stars began to appear over the mountain range, June Park understood his true mission had just begun. Not as a military general, but as a bridge between worlds, something entirely new was possible.